Hello and welcome to your in-depth weekly horoscope for week commencing the 29th of November for the Sun or the Ascendant. Now what I'm going to do is give you a broad overview of the major strands that are going to be influencing us all. And then please stay with me, I'll dive deep to give you in forensic detail your zodiac sign forecast. This week begins with a momentous astrological moment. The Sun and Mercury are so tightly together as we see it from Earth that they are in cazimi. This is going to see the power of the Sun magnify the influence of Mercury. Mercury technically is in detriment in the sign of Sagittarius where this event occurs, but I actually really quite like Mercury in Sagittarius. I think it's very thirsty for knowledge, it loves travel, it can be very adventurous, and the Sun and Mercury coming together suggests that we are going to have a greater desire to inform ourselves, but inform ourselves with higher ideals, the bigger picture, philosophy, history, any kind of background research, whether it's into the family tree or a business plan, can really benefit from this combination. Also very good for contractual discussions as well. Now we know that the world environment is challenged severely by COVID. If COVID wasn't there, I think a lot of us would want to inject our existence with some kind of spontaneity and adventurism. But we can still use our minds to achieve that. And Mars in the sign of Scorpio, which it governs, is forging a very compassionate link to Neptune. Now this suggests that we can dive deep in our thinking and the things that we explore, the knowledge that we gain in a very productive way. But also this week, the Sun is going to go on to forge a very stable link with Saturn. Now of course Saturn gets a bad astrological press, but it's very much to do with boundaries, stability, the structures that we're trying to build up that are positive. Of course sometimes Saturn will limit us around the things that aren't working so well. But this is a lovely angle because the Sun in Sagittarius is very much about freedom, and Saturn in the sign of Aquarius, also about freedom, is the ruler of that sign, the co-ruler. So where we're progressive and we're growing our situation and being more pioneering, but we're doing it in a step-by-step, thorough, well-researched way, Saturn supports the Sun in a very constructive manner. Now that brings us to that incredibly powerful total solar eclipse which occurs on Saturday. If you want to watch my deep dive video into this, please see beneath this video. Now this event is broadly going to still be in a sextile with Saturn, but it's also going to forge a quincunx with Uranus. So I think one of the things that we must embrace over the next 6 months, the range of influence of this final Sagittarius Gemini polarity eclipse in the series, before we go more into the Taurus Scorpio season of next year, and we've already had the Taurus lunar eclipse, the first phase of that. I think what we've got to just bear in mind is that the position of the Sun in the 9th house is about going for it. Uranus in the 2nd house is about more being conscious of our resources. So because they're not quite aligning very well, one of the things that we're going to need to work hard on, all of us, over the next half year is using our resources in a more constructive, practical way and not spending money just for the pleasure of it alone. So we're going to be looking to invest in things that have some kind of ongoing practical credential rather than living in the moment quite so much. So I think all of this is asking us to become much more mindful of our resources. But please stay with me for your in-depth forecast. But if you are new to my channel, I would be honoured if you would subscribe. Please click or tap on the bell notification symbol. Also, if you'd like to get your free daily horoscope, written horoscope, fired to your device each morning, please see the link beneath this video. And if you'd like to get your personal forecast for next year, you can do so now and get the rest of this year free, plus a character analysis plus 30% off. Also, please see the link below. Hello Leo, and welcome to your in-depth forecast for week commencing the 29th of November. The week begins with the Sun and Mercury in Cazimi. That's where they're absolutely together, so tight as we view it from the Earth. For you, this is the 5th house. It's very playful, it's very flamboyant, it's very self-expressive. If you are getting into the Christmas festivities, if wherever you're located, it's possible to socialise with people, then I really feel that you're going to engage with this with gusto. But it is true that Mars, the planet of drive and our individual needs, is still in the 4th house of the home. If you are making some last minute adaptations to receive visitors at Christmas, or you're trying to improve your situation in terms of where you live, just on a general basis, Mars link with Neptune in your 8th house of long-term financing means that maybe you can use imagination as well as the sheer drive that Mars is giving you. But the Sun is also forging a very stabilizing link to the bad guy, as it's said, of the Zodiac, Saturn. I tend to see Saturn in a much more holistic way. Yes, Saturn can be very testing to us, but it can also give us the spark to show the motivation and drive where it's active in our horoscopes to improve things. And I think you can be really grateful this week for relationships that are both fun but also very meaningful for you. So those solid citizens you really enjoy in your life, those are the people that can really come to the fore. Now, of course, if you're single, the link between the Sun in your sector of romance, as it is, and Saturn in your sector of relating, could see someone come into your orbit who is very impressive and could turn out to be quite a longer term player in your situation. And the total solar eclipse, which occurs at the end of the week on Saturday, is also encouraging the possibility that there can be new people coming into your world. But I think you've learnt a lot with Saturn's first full year in your opposite sign. Of course, it was in this location from the 22nd of March 2020 through to the 2nd of August. So you had a bit of a taste of this. So if you're born early in Leo, there may have been some limitations around relationships then. But you've learnt a lot about the need to be very attuned to what other people need from you. It's not just what you want from them. And I think that this solar eclipse does give you the potential to bring your warmth, your charisma, your magnetism to bear. The 5th house is very Leonian, but Saturn just asks you for it to be meaningful. And then Uranus is linking in as well. So what does Uranus tell us? Well, Uranus is in your sector of work and worldly interaction. I think if you are in a job or a role where you have a lot of responsibilities, but it is very workaday and it's not very inspiring, that could be something that you look to try to change over the next 6 months.